Oh, yeah. Excuse me. So, very good evening and welcome to Straight Talk, take 3. We have had a couple of technical malfunctions, but we are hoping to welcome Eleanor Conway very, very soon. Hello, here's Ellie. I believe Ellie is going to be joining us very, very soon. I've got a confirmation coming in to say it's adding you. There she is. Let me stop my music. I'm all right now. That was all a bit stressful, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Are you going to blame me for that?
Now you know that you need to tell your guests they have to do it on the phone.
There we go. So all that emailing and all being trying to be really professional, I just need to get your phone out.
That's it.
Thanks.
That's just what it is.
It is. Thanks so much for coming on, Eleanor. I really appreciate your time. I really do. Just to give you, thank you. Yeah, just to give you a little background into Straight Talk. I just had the idea that I was going to do a one-off and invite one comedian on that's been on a journey. And as you're fully aware, we had Paul Pirrie. He joined us a couple of weeks ago, and that was going to be it. But people said, "Are you going to do another one?" And here we are. We had people contact us to say that it made them think, it made them open up and talk about, actually, well, take a look at themselves. Job done. Job done. So here we are.
That's amazing.
Exactly. If we can help one person, as I said, job done. But yeah, thanks again for coming on, Eleanor, and welcome to everybody just tuning in. Welcome to Straight Talk with comedian and presenter Eleanor Conway. She's been very patient with us down the bottom of that screen. She's been very, very patient, spinning around.
I'm just going to switch the lights on in my flat. Hang on.
You switch the lights on, Eleanor. You switch the lights on.
There we go. I mean, I don't know if it made much difference, but...
That's better. That's better. So, yes, alcohol-free journey, living the sober life. And I hear...
That's it.
If I hear... 8 years? Go on.
7. Hang on, I'm just sharing this to my page. Hang on. 2 secs.
Okay.
There we go.
I will wait for
yes,
you.
I am 6 years sober.
Here
yes, 6 years sober a couple of years ago. A couple of weeks ago, in fact. A couple of weeks ago, I was 6 years sober.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I suppose we just want to rewind and go back a little bit. Obviously, being in the comedy industry, a little bit of background around that, really. How long have you been performing, Ellie? Stand up now.
So I basically, when I got sober in 2014, I was a music journalist before that. And I did the classic thing of running away with my drug dealer to China to work for triads. That's just what you do. And then after just a mental sort of 6 years in Asia, I came back home, had this crazy just partying. Basically, I had this traumatic experience in Asia. My boyfriend was a nutter and was really abusive, and I managed to escape to get back to the UK. And when I got back, like as you probably know, and the people watching probably know, we do not do things by halves, do we? People that like a little bit of the old and the old drinky, we like intenseness and extreme. So obviously, I'd had quite an exciting time in Asia. So I was like, do you know what? I'm not going to get a normal job in an office. I worked in a porn studio for 3 months, editing pornography.
Nice.
It's amazing, as you would imagine. I tell you what, you don't look back after you've stared down the dark chasm of a porn star's arsehole. I'm not going to lie.
So it's one for your CV, isn't it?
It is indeed. It is indeed. And so, you know, I was suffering a lot of trauma because this relationship that had just like messed me up a little bit. And I just basically drank and snorted my way. Oh, I was in a car accident. I got hit by a drunk driver while I was in a taxi. Ended up getting like a wad of cash for the insurance payout. I could have bought a house, Did I buy a house? No, I shoved it up my nose. And just, you know, classic stuff. Ended up getting sober 2014. I'd sort of messed up all my music presenting contracts by then. And, you know, and I've been hovering around the comedy scene for like a couple of years, doing chat shows and hosting a little bit, but not really committing to writing jokes and being vulnerable and just being my true self on stage. And then I got sober and I was like, I don't know, I'm in the program. I don't know about you, but I'm in AA. So I think once you've done step 4, step 5, and looked in the mirror, you have no fear after that.
Exactly. And is that where the Walk of Shame, was that what kicked off the Walk of Shame? Because that went on to be an amazing tour, wasn't it? The success you had with that. Tell us about that.
I know. So I wrote like, obviously I went into the rooms around 2014, June 23rd, and I was bouncing off the walls. Like, people have come up to me afterwards and gone, "We didn't think you were going to make it," because I was just like, just like, you know, I don't know. Are you in 12 step?
Yes,
are you in 12
I
step?
am.
Yeah. So you always know when someone's new and they come in and they're just a little bit just on edge, right? And I came in and I went to Glastonbury in my first week of sobriety, like with all my mates. All my mates were just doing loads of MDMA and coke, and I'm just like, I'm not going to do it, because for me, I just thought, if I can't go to Glastonbury with everybody on it, I'm not gonna stay sober. I'm not gonna do it. Obviously, I wouldn't do that now. I'm 6 years. I'm a spiritual, clean and serene woman now. But you know, it was just non-negotiable for me. And part of the recovery process was getting honest and doing Walk of Shame. And Walk of Shame was just like, I mean, I can't do the same show now because obviously I've got a bit of sobriety, but it was very sort of like, it was just the party girl story with a little bit of recovery. And I talked about the abusive relationship on stage, and for someone that had lived, and we've all got that trauma, we've all got that shame, that stuff that we kind of tell us. Yeah, you tell someone in step 5 and you're like, I am the most disgusting human being, and your sponsor goes, oh, is that it? Yeah, I did that. And you're like, what?
What? You think you're the only one that's ever done? And just for people that are just tuning in and they're hearing 12 step and that they're not in a recovery program, just to give a little insight, what Eleanor, you know, is telling us, you know, I work along with Eleanor a 12-step recovery program, and there's certain things we have to do when we are ready and we've decided that we've had enough to obviously go on this sober journey. So that's what a 12-step program is. I know a few people that are listening in that I can see are in the fellowship, but when this goes on YouTube, there might be a few people going, 12-step, what's all that about? But no, like you say, when you go and tell somebody else and they, and you just think that it's the worst thing ever, and then they're like, oh, right, okay.
Honestly, it's the most. I think everybody should do the 12 steps. You know, like for people that aren't in recovery and don't know what it's about, it's like life homework. You know, because
how to do life
for people, like, it's life homework. You go, did I? It's more about, like, recovery to me is about me remaining the same no matter what life throws at me, whether it's bad or good, right? Just remaining consistent. Whereas previously, I am reacting to what drug or what emotion I feel in that second. And often I can't think there's a saying, but like, emotion's a bloody liar. Innit?
Bloody liar.
No, it is, yeah. So, like, I'm a very emotive person, and if I'm taking uppers and downers and I'm drunk, and you can't really trust that stuff. So, yeah, it's just like life homework. I can't remember what I was talking about.
Your show, Walk of Shame.
Oh yeah, and so I was I was telling all my party girl stories, and I was sort of touching on the Asia story, and and I finally got the guts to tell the big sort of dark Asia story with a boyfriend being like, oh, abusive, bit hitty, I never really told anyone, and it's sort of like that real shame, like that shame, and being able to replay it on stage, and I thought, God, people are going to like really hate me when I tell this. And in fact, obviously not. They were connected with love and just the connection of being completely honest.
Amazing.
And much of what, yeah, much of what you get in like a really great meeting. You know, part of, you know, 12 step for me is about being in a room and hearing true, authentic human stories with no bullshit filters on it.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. So you took that abroad. What was that? 10 countries Walk of Shame went to?
Yeah, I just want to state that it's like usually if you do like your debut show, you just sort of do it in Edinburgh and then put it to bed and work on the next one. But
This is when I read it, I was like, wow, and you sold out, you know, 100 dates. You've been for the typical edit. You just gone for it, and it's amazing, amazing.
yeah, it was like, oh, I've done this show, well, I can't let it die. It's such a big piece of me. So I was like, okay, and I just basically just got, you know, when you get that obsessive, it's like the obsessiveness of like somebody that needs some coke on a Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. when no one's around. You know, that sort of like, I am gonna make this happen, regardless or not. And
Definitely,
so I
and that's the
basically,
thing with us. What we can, if we put all that time, you think all that time and effort we put into our drinking and using, you know, and we had all these ideas when we was in the madness, but when you get sober, you actually realise I can do this, I can achieve this stuff, and that's just a prime example of, you know, of being able to do that, and that's just fascinating stuff because I was doing a little bit of reading up, and I was like, wow. 10, you know, 10 countries, you know, sold out dates. That's brilliant. Absolutely fantastic.
thank you very
What's
much.
it
I mean,
like
it was
going on?
just talking to, I just got a list of 500 venues and called everybody, and you know, it's just a numbers game that people would accept
Wow.
me.
Wow. No, that's incredible, Eleanor. It really is. It really is. How did you find going on stage sober? How did you
Fine. Yeah, fine.
find?
I love it. I just, yeah, like yeah, I loved it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Just don't forget, like I've been presenting previously before, and I used to host this, oh, right. So back in the early 2000s, my drug dealer that lived two doors down from me knocked on my door, and his name was Dan, and he was just like a real sort of like weed smoker, and he'd always be working on a book, and he'd be like, "Oh, can I read the book, Dan?" He'd be like, "Oh no, no," can't. And obviously there was no book, but it was just something he said. Anyway, he knocks on the door like I just finished university, and he knocks. And he's like, "Would you like to be a TV presenter?" And I was like, yeah, of course I do. So a year bombing around the UK in a car with four other people, just like getting wasted, and shooting this TV show called UK Uncovered. But it was like it was a fake, so it was a fake TV show. So this was before YouTube, and so like do you remember like all the Sharon and Tracy clubs like Oceanas and Legends? They'd be in places like Swansea, and do you remember those?
Partied my socks off in there many a times back in the day. Unfortunately.
But yeah, so basically the guys that owned those clubs, called First Leisure, there was like loads of them. They basically created this UK Uncovered based on obviously the success of Ibiza Uncovered, Greece Uncovered, that were real TV shows. And they were thought, well, we'll just tell people in Yeovil that UK Uncovered, this soon to be broadcast TV shows coming to Yeovil, and loads of people will come out on a Tuesday and Wednesday night to our club. And basically we'd rock up just like with TV cameras, and we'd give them like free like drinks vouchers to do stuff on telly that would never get broadcast. So obviously it's just I just saw a lot of tits. so, so that's what I'd done at like 2020. Always sort of performed. I think that's the point I was trying to make. So I've always performed and always, yeah, so my genes.
Right. Lockdown. Lockdown. What's it been like for you? I have seen you have been very, very busy with some of your own shows. Brilliant stuff. And you've been taking part in other people's online chats, etc. What's it been like for you, Eleanor?
Well, I've been a classic addict, so I've done the whole I'm going to do everything, and actually I enjoyed the first week, like the first month or so. I loved it because it was just this sort of cocoon, like everyone's in it and all I have to do is stay inside, and everyone
Yeah.
will be all right. And the sort of, I suffer, like one of my defects of character is obviously like jealousy and all that stuff. So nobody's doing anything, so I don't get envious. So
Yeah.
that bit was fine. And then um, getting helped financially, just for, like I've fallen through the cracks a bit. So that fear of financial insecurity was stressing, like really stressing me out. And obviously I wasn't doing enough meetings, and I live in a studio flat. So I'm just sitting in a room going, oh my God, how am I going to afford my rent? Oh my God, I'm going to have to move out. I'm going to have to move back with my mum. Oh my God. And obviously I'm catastrophizing just hours and hours and hours. And then I basically marched. I went, do you know what I'll do? I'll have a drink. That'll sort it out. Marched to Sainsbury's, picked up
The
a white
Sainsbury's
Rioja.
incident.
The Sainsbury's incident.
I
Picked
wondered
up a
if you was going to
Rioja
bring
and
it
I
up.
was like, yeah, and picked it up and I was like, played the tape forward. I was like, well, any financial shit you're in now, like push that person. I've spent all like any money that you had, and do you know what I mean? Everything's going to be worse, and you're going to be 6 years in a couple of weeks, and you want to celebrate that. So I managed to pull myself out and just call my spawn and cry down the phone at her. And then since then, I've pretty much been doing a meeting every day, doing meditation every day, and you know, just getting out of the house, doing a morning routine, which is something I never had before. I was always a bit of a like, yeah, sort of like loiterer. Do you know what I mean? But a morning
And
routine, important.
it's all about that routine, isn't it, Ella? It really is, because that is what happens. If you know, you can have the best program in the world, and as soon as you just start dropping out bits, and then you get to that stage where you're in a supermarket, so I suppose from that's made you right into that strong
Well, do you know what?
routine.
I think there's an element of, I think there's an element of you have once you get to that sort of 6 year, that 5, 6 year mark. I don't know. I always see people sort of dip, they fall out, and you go, where did that guy go? And then they'll come in like 6 months later and be like, yeah, I relapsed, you know. And it's that sort of, I don't know. My sponsor says that the road gets narrower as the more sober you get. And I guess it is like I'm much more concentrating on my emotional sobriety. You know, I know not to have a drink. I don't particularly need a drink, but it's this thing that will fuck me up if I let it, you know. I don't know. What do you think?
So, what do I think?
Yeah.
With the program, I totally agree. I'm nowhere near as long as you. I'm coming up 2.5 years, which is still amazing, which I never thought I would be. And I'm kind of frightened to actually, but I'm only 2.5 years. I'm kind of frightened to drop anything, or I've got that. I'm not going to leave the house today until I've done a little bit of, you know, meditation and prayer, which is good for me. But I do have to keep on top of it, because, as I say, I've got that healthy fear. I've got that healthy fear of, if I don't do this stuff, and I'm going to end up exactly, you know, the mess that I was in 2.5 years ago. But I totally get what you're saying. Being over 6 years down the line, that how that complacency can drop in, and it's, you know, it's a reminder to everyone, you know, that's listening, that it doesn't matter how good your program is, but unfortunately, as we progress in the years of sobriety, it is just to try and keep on top of it as much as possible.
Yeah, I think the way I just look at it is that, you know, sometimes like 12 step, I'm just like, oh God. Do you know what I mean? I'm not into it all the time. Like I'm just like, oh, I've had this before, I'm bored. But but that's my relationship with everything, you know, exercise or something like that. But the way I look at it is that, do you know what I mean? Recovery, your program of recovery is just a little bit of homework you do every day. And it's just a little bit of homework. And it's not a lot when I compare the amount of time I've talked shit in a bar, had to scrabble around to find the money that I just spent, that was my rent the night before, apologies, cringing, hangover, like, you know, I don't know if you've been hungover, so hungover that opening your eyes stresses you out too much. Do you know,
Yeah.
you ever been that hungover where you're just like, oh, the fluttering of my eyelashes it's
Just can't
like, it's
do
a lot. I can't do it.
it.
Yeah, so it's just a bit of homework, isn't it?
It is a bit of homework. I love that expression. It is just a bit of homework. And it is just about routine. It really is. It really is. It doesn't take long. And what it gives you is like the life that we get from just doing as we're told, for once, ever, is amazing. So the life today, you know, the sober life, what plans have you got then? You must have some plans going on for your next show or something. What are you working on?
I don't know. Yeah, do you know what? I don't know. I'm just trying to keep my shit together. For me, like, I like quick routes to things, which is why I love cocaine. That is my favorite drug. Do you know what I mean? I like fast. Do you know what I mean? I like to know that if I do this action, I will get this extreme result.
Yeah.
And that's the same with shots, or you know, it's that sort of like, I want to be 10 out of 10, but in like 5 minutes. So I think part of my thing is just to move a little bit closer to my goal day by day, take it a day at a time, you know, and that's not just about recovery, but like career stuff. Because for me, I'll go, oh God, I want all this amazing stuff. And then if I don't get it in the next hour, I just beat myself up about it. Do you know what I mean? So what small thing can I do to move forward to my ultimate goal of world domination today?
Of course. Of course.
So in terms of like plans and stuff like that, I mean, I'm not moving any. I mean, like, I'm flipping, like, I can't perform until, not performing's off the cards for the rest of the year, I reckon. So I'm just gonna create content online and just experiment a bit with it. It's quite fun.
Yeah, and I've got to say, so, you know,
please follow me on my Facebook.
This is it. Go for it. Go for it. You've been doing a lot of your own shows, haven't you?
Follow me on my Facebook page and my Instagram page at Eleanor Conway.
Do it. You've been told. You've been told. Yeah, I suppose it. Yeah, we've had to cancel because you was due to do a show for, what was it, June? I think it was, yeah, beginning of June. We had you in to do the London Alcohol Free Comedy Club, and I was so excited to get you in because we've been emailing, and but it's that acceptance, isn't it? That we just, there's no point getting our knickers in a twist. We can't do anything about it, and just waiting out. There is quite a few gigs going on, the open air ones, aren't there? I've been seeing popping up. And my head's going, yeah, go and do that. Find somewhere, do an open air one. And I'm just...
You should do it. I mean, look, I think if you're going to do the open air stuff, you've got a limited time frame till the end of August. You know what I mean? After that, people are not going to want to sit outside unless you kind of do something a bit sort of legal, but kind of not legal, with, like, you know, a roof and then a little gap at the top and then like a heater thing. But
yeah, I know.
But maybe action is in the inaction. Maybe we don't need to be doing stuff. Maybe we don't need to fill that space.
You say that. It's when I get a bit of time to myself, you know, that self-care. I'm terrible. I sit there and I think, right, I'm just going to relax for a minute, and then I'll start going, and I'm just going to do that. But it is, like you say, just, yeah, take this time and get ready for the big boom, because when live stand-up does come back, it's going to be with a bang, because people have been, you know, at home for so long. They are going to want out and, you know, to go out and have a good laugh. But I just think with the social distancing, once you do go indoors, because the limit on the numbers, is it viable to run the nights? And then that affects me, you, everyone, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but like, look, doing these sort of things, you could do a lot of good doing these sort of things and build up your audience. Like, these are quite fun, really.
They are fun. Who would have thought?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I've learned is that during this is that having like 12-step and like Zoom meetings and stuff like that, is that other people don't have them, and it's been interesting to see how normies or people in that program have been reacting to the crisis. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, you've been losing your shit, all of you. You're all losing your shit. And I'm so that's been really interesting. I've learned a lot about myself, and I have a lot more respect for myself now. Not that I didn't, but like, you know what I mean? I feel like, oh, yeah, you're pretty robust, Eleanor.
Yeah, no, and it is just taking that time to, to our advantage. And yeah, comedy will be back, and it will be back bigger than ever. But it's just when what I can't get. It's with comedy, we need to have that intimate atmosphere to make it work. And like the theatres, when they say they can reopen, but they can have a few seats blocked out. I just think you're just not going to get it back until they drop the whole social distancing. I just think it's going to be a nightmare. I think it's just going to go on a bit. That's my view, and just to sit tight, really.
Well, it very well might do. Do you know what I mean? I think it might. I think it might do. I think you might be right. I mean, I'm not planning. I might try and do some shows in November, but I think it's going to be next summer, to be honest. And I think you just got to accept that. And then if it comes sooner, then do it. But like everyone's going to be rushing as soon as we get the go ahead. Everyone's going to be rushing, and it's just like maybe you just need to take a bit of chill time. Don't want to be
Totally.
bottlenecked by just. Don't panic. Just relax. Just go. It's probably going to be another year. What can I do in that year? Well, I could do some online stuff, build a community like you're doing, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, brilliant. We had a couple of people actually contact us after the last chat that we had with comedian Paul Peary, and they started to open up. I did mention it at the beginning about, which is amazing, which this is why I'm doing it, is to try, even if we can just help one person. What would you say to someone that is struggling or they think they've got a problem? What would Eleanor recommend?
I would just recommend. I would say, yeah, just go to a meeting. It might not be for you. There are different routes. I don't really know any other. Well, you can do there are different routes, but I would go to a meeting mainly because it's free and it's plentiful, and people just go to a few of those. Let people know that you're new, and see what you go in until you're sure either maybe it is for me, or like no, this is definitely not for me. Like it's not a cult. You don't have to agree to anything if you come to a meeting. It's just a meeting. And you can get them from the well, it's easy to Google. You can Google yourself. The details are there, or even you can DM for the ladies, and I'm sure maybe the gents could DM you.
Just from the last chat, just people that I haven't spoke to for a hell of a long time, like privately. We have messages coming in, it's fun. It's just got them thinking. It's just got them thinking, because during that lockdown period, for the norms, I just think it's just easy to obviously not realise if you've got an underlying condition to very easily go from like a couple of cans tonight, a night, to end up not being able to stop. So I think it is, as you say, it's the biggest step is putting your hand up and then talking to someone that's been there, done it, like yourself, like me, and plenty of others that are listening, and just losing that fear of asking for help, because I couldn't ask for help. I really couldn't. I had to let my consequences just go out the window.
Yeah, I knew for 3 years that I knew for 3 years that I needed to get sober. But I knew someone in 12 step, and I didn't ask them to take me to a meeting. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed.
Embarrassing to change your life and have an amazing life. But yeah, if we only knew then how good it is, if we could just bottle it up and just make a fortune, wouldn't we?
I mean, it is good. Let's not like, it is fucking boring sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Like I don't want to be like, oh, it's amazing. No, it's fine. The dull outweighs the horrific.
This is it. This is it. This is it. The carnage. The carnage. It does outweigh. It totally outweighs it. I always thought, what happens if I put down the drink and drugs? Life is just good. All I knew was part of my story, just party boy and just in the middle. And that's all I knew. I didn't know there was a life outside of drinking drugs. Who would have known? Who would have known? anybody listening, or I think what's important as well, if they're not people that are listening who've got the issue, somebody or knows a friend of a friend that's struggling, I just think it's important to be able to direct them, don't you?
Look, you know, wanted to be that I wanted, I kind of got, and I'm getting. It's not perfect. I mean, I struggle, but you know, the more sober I get, it's, you know, first I sort of let go of the drink and drugs, and then all the stuff around relationships that was toxic, and the stuff around finances. It's not just about giving up drinking. It's about changing toxic relationships with different things in your life. You know, you might not have a good relationship with.
Just how to do life properly, basically, isn't it? Really is. I just want to talk a little bit about our alcohol-free comedy nights. As I mentioned earlier on, we did have you invited to come along and do one, which was an absolute nightmare. We had to cancel that. What are your thoughts on it when you first saw it happen?
Oh, great! Yes.
Right.
Look, hey, I'm all up for. I'm all up for like sort of alcohol-free nights. I wish they'd do a good rave one, like with DJs that I know doing it.
Yes.
I like it because I have tried to go. I have tried to go out to festivals and raves before, but just people like jumping into me and just being drunk and wasted. I just couldn't deal with it. But then I don't. I just feel like sometimes the sober ones can lack a bit of vibe. Because I'm an old clubber at the end of the day, and you know, that's what I like, and that's very much part of my identity. But I haven't quite found that yet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sober.
Go back to sober comedy. I'm up for it totally.
Cool, because there was a bizarre reaction on the comedy circuit, because my background, a lot of people know, I was a booker for a comedy company for quite a lot of years, and when I come up with the idea. Yeah, I was. Yeah, we'll chat. Yeah. And basically, right, okay, I will tell you, and everyone that's listening, I was working for a comedy company, and I came up with this idea. I got sober. I went away to the naughty boys' place, the rehab, and when I come out, I had this amazing idea that there's not a lot to do when you're sober. Everybody needs a laugh, and let me just take the booze away. And I put it to the comedy company, and they said nobody laughs without a drink. Do you like that? Nobody laughs without a drink, right? And I got told it wasn't going to happen. So I left that comedy company, and I pursued it, and we've done our first show on December the 12th, I think it was, 2018. We only had about 40 people in, and it's like this. I was only ever going to do one, and then all of a sudden, the acts like it, because you've got an audience that aren't chatting, getting up, going to the bog every 2 minutes to do a cheeky line or whatever they're doing, and everyone is just attentive. So there's been like a mixed reaction on the circuit, but the guys and girls that I've used so far, they've actually loved it, because you've got that attentive audience. You haven't got Barry from Basildon playing up, you know.
To be honest, I feel like when people say people need alcohol, I call bullshit, frankly, because a lot of the time when I've been out with sober people to like everybody places, like they are the people that are having the most fun, and that they look like they're having the best time, if I'm honest.
Who would have thought?
I know.
Sober fun.
Who knew that?
Sober fun. Who would have thought? But yeah, hopefully we can get you back there now as soon as we can do it. It's 100%. You're in 100 million %. First show back in London.
I think you just do an outside one. Why don't you just do an outside one next month? Just find someone.
I have been scoping. I have been looking, and yeah, watch this space. Hopefully, it will come off. But basically, Ella, I just want to thank you for coming on. Time has just flown. I didn't realise. I just really appreciate your time, and I just hope that people listening, if they have got someone that's in a little bit of a pickle, or they're in a bit of a pickle, that they, they can live a life without alcohol and getting themselves in a complete mess like we were so good at doing. And look at us now, chatting in the kitchen.
Living the dream.
Who would have thought? living the dream, indeed. Living the dream, indeed. But no, thanks so much for coming on, Eleanor. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. We got you on in the end. It was a little bit of a nightmare, but we got you on. So to everybody listening, do make sure you go and check out Eleanor socials on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter.
I'm going to put it in the comments just now.
You do that. Once we finish tonight, we are going to upload this to YouTube. And I was really surprised with the last show, the amount of views we got. Cracking. So here we go. Make sure you do follow Eleanor for lots of goodness. Sober goodness.
Yeah, so I'm also doing 2 online shows this week for Reading Fringe Festival, if anyone wants to see it. So I'm doing You May Recognise Me from Tinder on Thursday at 7:30. That's tomorrow. And that's about the time I became a sugar baby. That ended well. And then, then Saturday night at 8:30 or something, I'm doing Walk of Shame, which is the debut. It's the addiction show. But yeah, I'd love to have you guys there.
On Saturday,
frankly.
Right, you've heard it here on Sober is Fun. Go check Ellen out, get some tickets, gather the folks up at home. Is it all right for the family to watch, or would you?
No, absolutely not.
Fantastic. I was hoping you were going to say that. Lock the kids in the cupboard, sit down and watch Eleanor. So, no, thanks so much for coming on, Eleanor. Really appreciate your time. Fantastic stuff.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
You're welcome. You are welcome. So, thank you to everybody for tuning in again for this second live talk. I have got plans to get someone extremely exciting on, just as exciting as Eleanor, in a couple of weeks' time. But obviously, do go and check out Sober is Fun, Instagram, Twitter, all our socials, and keep up to date. We are hoping to be back with the Essex Alcohol-Free Comedy Club in Chelmsford as soon as we get the nod from the government and we're allowed to get enough people in to make it viable. I'll be honest. To put a good show on, we do need bodies in, so we really appreciate if you can spread the word about Sober is Fun and the goodness we do with the comedy and no booze. And also, we have an exciting competition that is going to be going up on Facebook this evening. I'm going to ask Eleanor, what is your go-to non-alcoholic drink?
Oh.
Wow.
Is there a correct answer? Oh, hang on, kombucha. No. I love it.
A kombucha. Oh. I've never tried it. Never tried it.
It's nice. Seedlit, but I can only drink one of them, and then it gives me a headache. Hope it's that's not your sponsor. Right. So what we have got, the Alcohol Free Co. If you've never heard of them, they are the UK's finest suppliers of online alcohol-free drinks, and they support Sober is Fun, and they've given us this amazing pack of adult soft drinks to give away. So what we are going to do, we're going to be running a little competition up on our Facebook page, so do check that out. It'll be going up very, very soon. As I said, do check us out, guys, on all our socials, along with Eleanor Conway. Once again, for the third time, can't stop saying it, it's been lovely to have you, and have an amazing rest of the evening. And I'll be in contact soon as we get these clubs back up and running. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Eleanor. Take care. Cheers. Thank you from myself, Martin, at Sober is Fun. Have a good evening, and don't forget to check us out on all our socials and the competition. Good night, everybody. Bye.